yes, I've had moments in the past where we've tossed a coin as to whether we lived or died, and we luckily got away with it.
Have you ever realised that something is hunting you and you have to try and figure out that you need to get out of there ASAP?
Yeah.
I just can't imagine that.
A couple of times. So polar bears are this animal that will investigate anything that could be potential food in its environment. They can smell food from as much as 20 miles away. Wow. So if you're around and you're camping on the Arctic tundra or you're out on the ice floes and a polar bear is anywhere nearby, they will find you and they will, do anything they can to stalk you. And, it sounds obvious, but white in a white environment is pretty effective.
Do they ever just go like this and you can't see them? Yeah. Have you ever been standing there, just cover it, and there's a black nose, and you're like that? I was here, and you're like, fuck, it's behind me! If they ever learned to do that, that'd be really clever. Diddy. Shit, we've lost him. We found him.
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes, yeah. But when they say stalk you, you literally just start coming over?
And they can literally just crop up right behind you. You have an animal that can be 3/4 of a ton and can stand up 12 feet in the air, but is able to just all of a sudden, from nowhere, be there right in front of you because they are so efficient at, most of the time they're creeping up on seals or beluga whales or narwhal, things that are super sensitive and really aware of everything else in their environment. So they have evolved over tens of thousands, possibly millions of years to be able to approach a prey animal with absolute silence and you're not noticing it's there. And a couple of times, one, I was out in a kayak in the middle of these ice floes in Svalbard up in the Arctic, and I was paddling on my own. I was about a mile away from the ship that had a big long lens focused on me. We were getting these gorgeous compressed shots of me paddling through the icebergs, and someone said, "Stick, there is a polar bear swimming straight towards you." And I was on the radio, and the guys on the boat were talking to me. They're going, it's heading straight for you. And I couldn't see anything until it was probably 10, 15 meters away from me. And it just popped up in front of me, came around behind me, and then just came after me, swimming like this. And for about 5 or 10 meters, until I'd properly propelled myself off into the distance, I was about to become polar bear lunch in the middle of the Arctic. I have never felt so small and vulnerable and fragile in my entire life.
And the adrenaline rush off the back of getting away?
Yeah, I mean, I've never paddled faster. If it was possible to break the Olympic kayaking record in that second, I probably did.
If they could measure that piece of water that I pedalled down, I reckon I'd be up there.
Yeah.
I know, because with bears, is it supposed to make yourself as big as possible, or no, or because you don't, or does it lie down and pretend you're dead? Or
yeah, so it depends on the kind of bear. That's a really interesting one.
Man, you got the wrong one. I know. Come on, then you prick. Oh, fuck, it's the wrong one. Because people don't know how good. Sorry to interrupt. I'm right in thinking because people always forget. There's a big disconnect between what people who watch animals, because they watch cartoons, like things like Wind in the Willows, right? Everyone thinks like a badger. Badger's like a really friendly, lovely chap that makes marmalade in a hole with a rat, and they've got a friend as a toad, and it's really kind.
I think if anyone's living their life according to Wind in the Willows, there's a little bit of work to be done. No, suddenly there's a toad in a car. Yeah, never seen that before.
One of your relatives, actually. But that beliefs, because cartoons make animals seem very fun and friendly and accessible. Yeah. I just wondered, I don't know where I was going with it, but essentially, how many times do you have to sort of...
Have you fought a bear and won? I'm trying to help you out here, but I've got no idea what you're asking.
I was trying to ask.
Which is the original thing you were about to ask was about if you were to get into a situation with a bear, what should you do?
Yes.
And the advice...
Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much indeed.
You've done
for asking a question I couldn't find.
So in the far north of America, you've got the black bear, the brown bear or grizzly, and the polar bear, and the advice for all three of them is different. So should you get into a bad situation with a brown bear, a grizzly, you are supposed to lie down, to play dead, and they'll mess around with you a bit and then leave you alone. If you get into a situation with a black bear, you fight back, because they are not going to just leave you alone. They'll carry on going, but they may be put off by someone really sticking up for themselves. With a polar bear, unless you've got a skidoo or somewhere out of there, you have zero chance. You would be shredded, and you'd be history. So the three different bear species, and it's a lot down to how they find their food, the kind of way that they live their lives is how you should react to them. Yeah. But generally speaking, that thing of standing up, looking as big as you can, being confident. Confidence is everything in the natural world. Size and your ability to just portray your own physical confidence is one of the biggest weapons you can have in your armory when you're dealing with any kind of animal. And that is absolutely true for people who are in this country working with horses or with dogs. It's the same thing. Confidence is everything. The person who is scared and frightened is the person who's going to get kicked or bitten.
You'd be awful.
Yeah.
You say that. I think you underestimate
as a
your
Delta
peril.
male, you'd be terrible in those moments. They'd smell you coming a mile off.
Yeah, but there's not a lot to eat, so they'd get bored very quickly, wouldn't they?
Like
So,
a toothpick. You'd
crack
be like
on.
an amuse-bouche, wouldn't you? Just a little
This is the
something.
worst nature show you've ever done, ever. And I can only
Well,
apologise for that.
no, it's great. It's nature versus actually what is the internet
Ignorance.
now. It just
Nature versus
puts-
ignorance
yeah.
meets right here.